One of the things I often hear from people when it comes to staying committed to their weight loss journey is that it's way too hard. It's complicated. It's difficult. You see, some people quit a few weeks or even a few months into their whole program and almost never get back on track. I understand it. I meet a lot of people who that's their situation. What about you? Is that you? Is that what you're dealing with? Is that what you have going on in your journey? You've been trying, and it just seems like nothing's working, and you just have, gotten off track, and it's just been real difficult. Well, you see, you're not alone. This episode is dedicated to you, to all of you who have been struggling to lose weight, and it's just been a challenge. In this week's episode, we're going to discuss how to know if your current weight loss plan is way too difficult to maintain. And I'm going to give you my recommendations for simplifying your routine so you can succeed. You see, I believe wholeheartedly that living healthy shouldn't be complicated at all. So stick around to hear the rest of this episode. I think you're going to like it. Welcome to this week's episode of The Journey Journal with me, your host, Oscar Camejo. If this is your first time tuning in, The Journey Journal is published every Monday. And if you hadn't heard, The Journey Journal is actually a spinoff of the main podcast, the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast, which actually is published every Wednesday. The whole premise of this podcast, no matter which episode that I produce, it's all about helping diabetics make lifestyle changes to reverse type 2 diabetes. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to be a diabetic to get value out of what I have to share. I found that people who simply want to lose weight and live a healthy lifestyle are tuned in and they just love the content. So I definitely appreciate all those who've been following from day one, and to our new listeners. I really appreciate you establishing a connection with me, because I definitely want to help you and others to live your best life and to succeed. The goal is to provide you with practical recommendations so you can maintain a healthy lifestyle, because that's what we all want, is to maintain a healthy lifestyle that is sustainable. Now let's get into this week's episode. Back in 2018, between 2018 and 19, I was first diagnosed with pre-diabetes. And, at that time, I really did not take the diagnosis serious enough to reverse my health situation. My health condition was, it wasn't bad, but they told me I had pre-diabetes. So I did not take it that serious. It wasn't until August of 2020 when I was hospitalized that I actually learned that I had eventually developed type 2 diabetes. I had a diabetes scare. My blood sugar was severely elevated, and they told me to go to the hospital, check myself into the emergency room. And for about a week, I had to learn about this new disease that had invaded my body. Looking back, I wish I had a plan early on and taking it very seriously so that I wouldn't even been in that situation. But, I don't live in regret. I live in the now, and I appreciate the fact that I was able to come out of it. I was able to turn my life around. And that's why I want to help other people who have difficult times, dealing with what's going on in their life, whether they have type 2 diabetes, hypertension, high blood pressure, inflammation. I dealt with all of that. So let's get into it. Why some people have a difficult time maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Number one, I find that a lot of people rationalize why it's difficult. They come up with all kinds of reasons. I've met people who've said, well, I'm too big. I'm always going to be big, so I might as well just accept it. Or, you hear some people say, I've never been good at exercising, so, it's just too difficult. It's too difficult to eat right because I love eating too much, I hear people say. So I might as well just do my best and do the best that I can. that's already setting themselves up for failure because it's like the mindset is, hey, you know what? It is what it is. I just have to deal with it. I also hear people say, well, my life is too busy. It's too busy for me to cook, healthy meals. So I do what I can. I'm maintaining a whole household full of kids, and it is what it is. We have to eat out, and I get it. I also hear people say, I travel a lot, so it's hard to eat proper foods. So hence, I'm not going to be able to lose weight because I'm traveling a lot. I get it. So number one, again, that's rationalizing why it's too difficult, why it's hard. Number two, lack of a clear and specific plan. A plan for what you eat, a plan for how you're going to eat, when you eat. And the same is true with exercise. What are you doing when it comes to exercise? Is it just random? It's just a lack of clarity when it comes to an exercise program that is going to help me to achieve, XYZ. I hear people say, hey, I want to lose 40 pounds. So that may be a goal, but there's no clear reason as to why, or I want to fit this size and clothes. And it's like, why? And so, I've met people who, their heart is in the right place, but they don't have a clear plan and a specific plan. And I'll be honest, if you don't have clarity, if you don't have specificity when it comes to your weight loss, it is going to be difficult. I sometimes meet people who at the gym, for example, they come in, they walk in, and you can see that they're just kind of randomly just walking around, going from one machine to the next, and you can see that they're just trying something. And I get it. You have some people who are new to the gym, new to exercise, and so they're trying to figure it out. Hey, I was there. I know what it's like. You walk through the front door and you see this huge place, and there's a bunch of people working out, and it seems like they have their stuff together, and you're just new to it. You want to lose weight. And so you're like, okay, well, let me go on the treadmill. Then it's like, okay, well, then let me go lift some weights over here in the corner, or let me go to this area and just do some aerobic exercises. So going from one thing to the next. And one thing I found, and this is number three, where I think people find it very difficult to maintain a healthy lifestyle. To be honest, it's just way too many options. It's like when you go to a restaurant and they have this huge menu that's like 4 and 5 pages. Here is the recommended appetizers. Then you have another set of appetizers. And then you have the lunch menu. Then you have the special lunch menu. Then you have the dinner menu. Then you have the special dinner menu. And it's all these different options. And you're with people like your family or friends. And you're like, okay, well, what are you going to eat? Well, what are you going to eat? Well, I don't know. There's all these different options. Well, it's the same thing when it comes to eating healthy and even exercising. If you heap to yourself, if you load up yourself and your life with all these different options, oh, well, let me try this diet plan. Oh, you know what, let me try that diet plan. Or, man, you know what, I don't know which diet plan is going to work because there's just so many things. There's just so many options. And, I don't like it when it's just so many options. When I first started my journey, I was like, hey, you know what? I need to have my life to be simple. I want my program to be simple. I need to narrow down what it is that I'm going to be eating on a regular basis because I don't want things to be complicated. So with that, let's get into how to develop a simple plan in order to experience lasting results. Number one, I really recommend that you change your attitude when it comes to your situation. You got to change your mindset. I know that, depending on your size, depending on your lifestyle, depending on what you have going on, you have a family life and all that stuff. If you keep telling yourself it's too difficult to change, it's too difficult, it's too hard, then guess what? Sir, ma'am, it is going to be too difficult. It is going to be hard. It is going to be a challenge to turn your situation around. If you keep focusing on how bad it is or how bad you have it, and you're not looking at ways to make things better, to simplify it, then it is going to be hard. I'm sorry. You can have access to the best workout trainer, the best eating plan, the best whatever, the latest workout gear and equipment. But if your attitude towards your health and towards fitness and eating properly does not change, and even your perception of yourself, I'm telling you, you're going to have a hard time. I always tell people the mind is a battlefield, and people win and lose on that battlefield all the time. But the people that win are those that say, hey, you know what? I'm making up my mind to change my life. I am going to succeed no matter how hard, no matter how difficult this is. I am going to succeed. It's like that old saying that says your attitude determines your altitude. Or it's the same thing when it comes to your fitness. Your attitude towards your eating and your relationship towards food will determine how high and how far you go in winning. I don't know what else to tell you. And I know you may be surrounded with people. You may have a loved one. You may have friends, a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend that really is not encouraging, and they are probably body shaming you or just not supportive. And it's contributing to your attitude, your negative self-talk about your situation. I get it. I've been in that situation before. So you have to make up your mind that your attitude has to change. It has to. You have to think positively. You have to turn that negative thought into positive thought. You have to come up with some affirmations, some daily affirmations. For example, I will succeed at losing weight. I will succeed at developing a lifestyle of health and nutrition. I will live and not die. I will succeed. And I know that's easier said than done, but you have to develop that lifestyle and habit of speaking positively over yourself and to yourself. I say it often. You have to change your mindset. It's just a fact, folks. Okay, number 2, declutter your current lifestyle. Now, this one's very interesting. What I mean by declutter your current lifestyle, if you are so busy that you don't make time to even learn about health and nutrition, you're watching a lot of TV during the week, you're on social media all the time, and you're wasting a lot of time even talking with friends on the phone and texting. And so look at how busy your life is and how much time you're wasting on things that are not beneficial towards your success. Now, of course, you're working, you may be working from home or working in the office. I'm not talking about that time, obviously. I'm talking about your idle time. What are you doing with your idle time? Even when you're in the car, if you're listening to music on your commute to going to school, going to work, or even going to the store, I want you to reconsider that time. Could you be listening to an audiobook? Could you be listening to a podcast that, will help fuel your education, will help feed your education, will help feed your mind when it comes to health and nutrition? I just want you to declutter your life. And sometimes it starts with looking at the simple things. I have stopped watching television during the week, Monday through Friday, because I found that, television was not contributing to my growth as an individual. So it's like, why waste that time? I have a podcast that I manage, releasing 2 episodes a week, and I'm educating myself all the time about health and fitness. I was able to lose over 80 something pounds doing exactly what I'm telling you, decluttering my life. You don't have to go out all the time. So look at your situation, declutter your current lifestyle. Because once you start decluttering, it's like when you clean your house, you can start saying, okay, these are the things that I need to get rid of. And then you can breathe better in your physical space. You look around and it's like, okay, I got rid of that. Got rid of some old clothes in the closet. Got rid of trash that was just, kind of lingering around, and I cleaned up. Well, it's the same thing when it comes to your health and fitness and your nutrition, your daily lifestyle. Make room for a healthy lifestyle, okay, by decluttering your current lifestyle and situation. Okay, number three, choose one eating program and stick to it. So many people are going after all these different diet programs. They're kind of desperate to see what works. You have, and I'm not saying not to do a program at all. I just don't want you to be trying to do multiple ones at the same time, or you try one and it doesn't last. I mean, you don't stick to it long enough to see how it's going to work. After 3 days, you're like, oh, well, I don't like this one. So you go try something else. I didn't follow a specific program when I first started. I just started educating myself on food. And I said, okay, I'm going to come up with my own program, if you will, and my own dietary regimen. And I just stuck to it. I know some people, they need an actual program to feel better. Okay, I want to get on the keto diet, or I want to get on the Weight Watchers, or whatever you decide to do. Find one that, number one, works, that is sustainable, that's simple, that you can follow to the end. Don't just try one thing for a couple of days and then try something else. And then another couple of days after that, you try something else, and you keep going and trying all these different things, and you never stick it out to the end. So again, number three, choose one eating program and stick to it. That's very important. Choose one eating program. Now, number four, choose one workout program and stick to it until the end. Same thing, same concept. I tell people, and I recommend that you avoid these random one-off YouTube or social media videos that seem good. Like, oh, I like that little stretch routine, or I like that, I'll be working out some arms. And then you go to somebody else on YouTube or social media. Oh, they're working out lower body, or this person's working out glutes over here. So you have all these different videos that you're just trying, but it's not an actual program. See, there's a difference between having a little workout routine, right? A set, if you will. But it's something about following a program that has a beginning and an end that you can track. And I've said it before on this show. When I found a program, I wanted to find something that was simple, that was time bound, that had a beginning and an end. I found something that was free, that it wasn't like an upgrade here to get more. It was like, hey, I need to find something that's free, that's doable, and that showed me how to do these exercises and how to do them effectively. So I went from doing these programs once to the end and then I started seeing results. Then I was like, hey, let me do this again. So I would repeat it. And now I've been following the same fitness program fitness program from day one. And I've been seeing results. And I may add to it. I can lift heavier now. I can run longer. Now, the endurance parts of it, I can do more than I did when I first started. So I recommend you find a program that's either a 4-week program, a 6-week program, even an 8-week program that okay, in 4 weeks, I should have results. And if you have to repeat. It's okay. But don't go from one program to the next and you don't finish anything. Okay, number 5 and the last one, choose an accountability partner. And this is whether it's for eating and developing an eating program for yourself or a fitness program or both. Sometimes accountability is what we need in order to succeed. Sometimes a lot of us can't just go into the gym by ourselves and just work out because we just need that fellowship as well, but that camaraderie and that social push. And I get it. I work out by myself, but I also work out with people if I need to. I'm just at a point where, I am my own accountability partner. But it's nice when, you may have somebody who's there to support you that you can call on at any given time, and or they know to check in on you every day at such and such time, because that's your regimen of when you're going to go work out. You decided, hey, I'm going to choose one workout program and I'm going to work out in the morning between XYZ, and this person is going to be my accountability partner. Either they're going to come with me or they're going to check in on me. Keep it simple, folks. It doesn't have to be complicated at all. So, as I wrap up this week's episode, I've been talking a lot about developing good habits and habits that are sustainable. The goal is repetition. We formulate habits by doing small, bite-sized things consistently with repetition. We get good, or we become better through repetition. So if you decide, I'm going to do this one workout program that lasts for 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks, make sure that there's things in there that are simple that you can repeat so it can become a habit. So I do recommend you read this book by James Clear. I've been telling a lot of people about it. It's called Atomic Habits: Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results. It's a really good book. It helps to help you to identify those small habits that can be repeated, because repetition, again, is very important. So, Atomic Habits, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results by James Clear. I recommend that book. Now, as I close, I want you to keep this in mind. I want you to get to the point where you no longer are struggling to maintain a healthy lifestyle, because no one wants to be struggling to lose weight. Nobody really wants to be struggling to maintain a healthy eating regimen. But in order for you to get to that point, you got to change your mindset. So remember, change your mindset about yourself. Self-perception is very critical. Remember, I talked about the battlefield in the mind. Change your relationship with food, folks. I've said it before and I want to repeat it. Comfort food is not the way to go, but I know a lot of us, we feel comforted by food, but food is for fuel, not for comfort. Those foods that you eat out of habit, you may snack out of habits. Look at what you're doing that's counterproductive to your goals. You don't need food to feel better about yourself. You just have gotten to the point where you believe that food is going to make you feel better, because that's just been a habit. I want you to be encouraged. Don't give up. Don't cave in. Don't quit. Don't keep adding a whole bunch of things to your lifestyle and regimen and making things complicated. And you're going from this thing to that thing, and you're just trying a whole bunch of things just to see what works. Set yourself up for success, not for failure, because I want you to succeed. Matter of fact, I know you want to succeed. It's just getting there has been difficult. So, as always, I appreciate you liking, following, and listening to this weekly episode. I want you to stay focused, keep moving, and never go back. Trust God. You got this. I believe in you. Be sure to visit the website at www.beatingdiabetieslifestyle.com for access to free resources and other information that will help you along your journey. If you would like to submit a question or a comment about the show, or to learn more about the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle, you can always email me at hello@beatingdiabetieslifestyle.com. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this podcast.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast with Oscar Camejo. We hope you enjoyed this episode. As a reminder, this podcast is intended for motivational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional care by a physician or other healthcare professional or qualified fitness instructor. This podcast is provided on the understanding that it does not constitute medical or professional advice or services. If you're looking for help on your journey, seek a qualified medical practitioner. It's important that you utilize someone who is a trained, licensed healthcare professional who can help you on your journey toward good health.